Attention viewer, you are watching the world's biggest monster truck diecast YouTube channel. This is Monster Jam OCD.
Well, hello world, and welcome back to the Monster Truck Collecting Podcast. Today we are joined by special guest RJ Darrow, as well as our classic guest Phil, who is back again and fresh out of recovery-ish for his hand. As you may recall, last week, his hand was not in good shape, so he'll be back in charge of running the website. Images that you'll see this episode, of course, run by BrianZPatton.com, our archive website.
Can you guys hear me?
Diecast Monster Trucks.
Yeah,
Hello,
I
RJ.
hear you, RJ.
I was just about to give you the floor. So, special guest RJ Darrow here. We have not had him on yet. We've had Tony Root on a couple times now, but RJ is joining us today. He's one of our moderators of the Monster Truck Collecting Facebook group, and as you can tell, he's very, very excited. So, RJ, if you want to introduce yourself, please feel free to have that time, and we'll get right into that Muscle Machines discussion of 2004 after your intro. Go ahead. Or not.
RJ, are you alive? Why can't you hear me?
Can y'all hear me?
No,
Yeah.
yes, I can.
I can't hear y'all.
Okay.
Join back. Okay, so a little bit of technical difficulties. Let's bring him back in
That
a
was
moment.
RJ Darrow. No, I'm kidding. RJ's going to be right back, everybody.
For a moment, Phil, if you want to start screen sharing while we kind of pivot around this, let me message RJ to rejoin, and we'll come
While
back.
you're doing that, let me shamelessly plug some big news I have going on
Go ahead.
here.
Go ahead. We'll just do that instead.
A lot of people thought today that Jurassic Attack will be returning to the Monster Truck Circuit. It'll be driven by David Too Tall Olfert. Really exciting news, and we were already planning it, but a big, large monster truck promotion beat us to the punch. But no worries. This Friday on the Monster Truck Outlaws of the West podcast, we're going to be unveiling the brand new Jurassic Attack design. We're going to have Too Tall as well as Paul Jensen and a very special guest with us this Friday. Figure that ties in with all the Jurassic Attack talk that we've done on here. So
Yeah. Hopefully, they don't make an ornament of it. You know.
Well,
nightmare.
Maybe we'll have an update on that maybe next week. So, but
on that ornament,
we will see. There's been some developing news, but needless to say, if you want to talk about the real Jurassic Attack, tune in this Friday on Facebook. We're going to be unveiling that and giving it all the exclusive details on bringing back that classic truck.
Yeah, I've actually seen the full design. I'm very happy with. It's interesting. It's an interesting change, I'd say, from the classic. I love the classic. I really love the classic beige body that they ran for so long, and then of course the blue one that ran more prevalently. I can't speak tonight. Than the beige brown one did. But this is definitely a different take on Jurassic Attack. Very cool. So I think the public will have different opinions, but I think for the most part it's going to be very positive. In general, having Jurassic Attack back on the tour, back in Monster Jam, is a plus in any way. It doesn't matter what the body actually looks like, but I do like the pivot they took from the classic to now. While we wait for RJ, I'm not sure where he went. So today, when RJ, our special guest, comes back and we can actually hear him, or if he can hear us, which he's joining back right now, we're going to talk about 2004 Muscle Machines, which actually is going to be more so Phil and RJ talking about. So we're going to bring RJ back in here now. So can you hear us, RJ?
Right. What's up, guys?
Can you hear us?
How's it going?
It's good. Can you hear us?
My bad for the technical difficulties. I don't know what happened there.
Plus 2.
4?
Okay,
good. You can hear
he can hear us. He could just thanks. Okay, so
earlier I couldn't hear anything, so all good.
All right. Well, RJ, why don't you give us the 60-second salesman pitch, who you are and why are you here?
RJ Darrow from Verdon, Oklahoma, monster truck collector, moderator. Help these two guys out when I can. I've helped a number of monster truck crews in my time, from Tornado, Doug, Charles Wild Thing, Rodney Tweety and Bigfoot, along with Jeff and Justin Murphy, and hopefully we'll continue on with those boys.
Cool. So yes, that's RJ, again, a moderator of the Monster Truck Collecting Facebook group, which this podcast was based off of. So if you haven't joined that group yet, feel free to click the link in the description, and also the social media handles for both Phil and RJ are down there as well. As you notice, RJ and I are matching with our Team Destruction International crew shirts today. Sorry, Phil, we love you. We're navy blue. Okay, so we're going to stop messing around. We're actually going to start a discussion tonight. We started late also because both Phil and I are actually flying home, not in the same plane, but just happened to be flying home on the same day from two different places. I was actually leaving Arizona where Phil lives, and he was going to Arizona. So that's where we've been, and that's why we're late. So, Phil, if you want to start screen sharing so we can get into this discussion, feel free.
So if you guys joined us for our first Muscle Machines episode, which was 2 weeks ago, you'll know that these guys were really the first disruptor to the Hot Wheels juggernaut during the mid-2000s. And it was a great alternative to what was out there. And you'll also know from that episode that there was a lot of great trucks in there, but there was also a lot of trucks that there was a lot of like the Universal monsters with different paint schemes. It just got very monotonous. Yeah. So it was like, wow, what are we doing?
There was a lot there. Yeah.
Right. So in 2004, they scaled back the checklist a little bit. But I think this is probably the stronger line out of the three main years of Muscle Machines, 2003, 2004, 2005. I would argue 2004, even though it's a little shorter than 2003, it has more quality trucks, at least trucks that you'd want to play with in your carpet league. And I know RJ.
Big monster trucks, yes, sir. Yep. There's a bunch of trucks in here that you absolutely had to have to go have a show. Absolutely.
Yeah, RJ, you used to play with your trucks on the carpet?
Used to, don't anymore. It's been about 5, 6, 7 years. It's been a while. Maybe not 7, but that's
like 7 days, hours.
No, 7 years, Phil. 7 years, Phil. It's been a while. They just hang on the wall and collect dust now.
All right. Well, maybe you got some of these here. We'll definitely chit-chat about them here, as our first truck for 2004 is Bigfoot Liberty. Now, we did see the Bigfoot Liberty in 2003. This one's a little bit different. I believe
color.
I believe the 2003 version has a little bit more of a chrome paint gloss kind of with it. And there's also some of the sponsor logos are placed in different areas. So it's one that, I mean, if you have the other Liberty, maybe you don't necessarily need this one, but there is enough changes that would warrant you having to buy it again.
Yeah, I bought both back in the day just because why not?
Yeah, so
like I said earlier, people are wondering what's going on with me. I'm not in this discussion a ton because I don't have a ton of knowledge. So it's going to be these two guys mostly tonight, so you guys get a break from hearing me. So I'm here. They have the floor on my channel tonight. More than welcome. If I get brought into it, it'll be a small bit of my opinion on the pieces, but not much. So again, continue on, guys. I'm listening at this point. I'm a viewer. Just live.
So one of the big variation changes here, you see on the window, you see Ron Bachman's name on there. Ron was, I think, like the second longest running employee of Bigfoot 4x4 behind Jim Kramer. Ron passed away a couple years ago. So what was interesting about Ron Bachman is that he wasn't really that much of a competitive driver, or at least at this point. Ron was almost always the token display driver with Bigfoot. He would take Bigfoot 12 around a lot of places. Bigfoot 12 was like really just the display Bigfoot, like it'll show up at your Firestone dealer and just set up shop and hand out hero cards. Ron was always the guy in charge of that until his untimely passing. I don't see his name on the original version or the one from 2003.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now too. It's not on there, so that's a good addition to the truck, especially now, but back then even a great addition to the truck for sure.
Yeah, and also variation change. The release from 2003 had chrome rims, and obviously this one has blue, and some of the other parts that were black, like some of our axles, is all blue now.
And they didn't have they had a couple variants last year, but this is, starting to add more to the variant club, I guess.
Yeah, it's, muscle machines don't have like a terrible amount of variants. Like they really didn't re-release anything. Right. So this is one of the few exceptions, and it's not a bad one. It's not like it's really the same truck from the previous year. There are changes.
Correct.
So that's the first one. Our next one, this is Bigfoot. Now, this could have a couple different versions on how you interpret it. This could really be seen as a Miss Bigfoot scheme. This could be seen as Charlie's Angels Bigfoot that a lot of people now know was made by Hot Wheels in 2020. This is obviously a lot more purple than what we get in 2020, but this is really based off of the same scheme.
I'll be right back.
Correct. It's got a little bit more of a purplish look to it, a little chrome in there for what it's worth.
Yeah, I don't know why this is like ultra purple. I mean, if you look at the Hot Wheels one that came out this year, that's a little more accurate to what was going on with this truck back in the day. I mean, you even see the card back here that's such a dark purple. And here we have like Grimace from McDonald's purple on this thing. So
he was cool though. Grimace I like Grimace.
Yeah, Grimace was cool. Yeah, Bigfoot was sponsored by McDonald's back in like the late 80s.
Correct. I have a Bigfoot, the original Hot Wheels Bigfoot on the wall over there. It may have a McDonald's logo on it. Not sure. Haven't looked at it in a minute.
McDonald's toys for Bigfoot. I'm sure we might talk about this one day on here. We want to talk about the fast food trucks on here. So,
the Wendy's were a good. Go ahead.
We're RJ. We're trying to get our flow here, man. I tell you, but we're looking at this purple Bigfoot. It's cool, but when you see the Hot Wheels one now, this is kind of not This is not the accurate one to have, in my opinion.
Right, but for its time, its time compared to the one Hot Wheels made, no, but for its time. You had to pick it up. You wanted to pick it up, had to.
And a purple Bigfoot is like such a rarity too. Like even that kind of tone of Bigfoot, because Bigfoot's always like Americana and it's that blue Ford and
Ford. Yes, sir.
So long. So you get what you get here.
Yeah, that's. I mean, the year is 2004. So I mean.
Yep. So here we are, number 3 sound. There is a variation on this, and I'll explain a little bit on it in a second. This is the Destination Bigfoot. Destination was a type of tire that Firestone was producing at the time, and this is the truck that was really inspiring that. Destination. You got the Golden Gate Bridge on here. You got the old Golden Arch here. Just to travel across the country to explore wherever the destination may take you, and make sure you choose Firestone. So this was the truck that they had for it. It was a real life truck, bright orange with different graphics. So this is another kind of case. I know it's very prevalent in modern Bigfoot, where it's not, the name of the truck isn't the big focal point. It's the sponsor on the side, and then Bigfoot's over one of the fenders. So this is kind of one of those early precursors to that, where Destination is all over the truck, and then, oh, by the way, Bigfoot is here on the fender.
Yeah, it's a Bigfoot, by the way. You can't tell by the side of the bedside, but the front quarter panel's got it for you.
Yeah, no, and this is accurate to the truck. A little bit kind of curious where they kind of placed the decal. Is definitely not the same tones of orange. So that is kind of noticeable, because you can see where kind of the decal goes compared to where the tone of the orange is. So that's a little bit of a bummer, but the Destination Bigfoot was really one of those different Bigfoot schemes that, again, one of those first schemes that really broke away from the orange or from the blue with the orange, and you get other ones like the Wildfoots and some of like the special edition schemes that they did. Then Destination was a little more one of the prominent ones. It's good to see.
It was one of my favorites. I remember picking it up along with the other variant that we're about to get to, together at Advanced Auto Parts. No, AutoZone.
So now here's the variant one. Now, RJ, I want to pick your brain on this. For those watching here, the variant, it's the same truck except it has Firestone lettering on the sidewalls of the tires. So nice detail. But where did you find this variant?
I found them both at AutoZone same day. I bought. Well, I didn't buy clearly, but I got 3 of them. 2 of the truck we just looked at without the tire graphics, and then 1 of this. And of course, my child self took this one outside and had the other ones inside. But you gotta have some realism in the non-carpet monster truck league growing up. What would you call the outside carpet league? Dirt league?
I don't even want to know. But the reason why I was asking is because I was under the impression that this Bigfoot was only available through the team with the lettering. Now,
really?
I guess that's wrong, because if you found it in AutoZone, then to each their own. But that was the story I was told, that was the reason why there was the change. But
I mean, there's no telling how it got there. I mean, there's no telling it. A small town auto parts store, how it got there, no telling. But I do remember the differences because I found one of those wheels just the other day walking along in the old steel box.
Our version here on the Brian Z. Pat website is signed. This is signed by Keith Sturgeon, who drove for Team Bigfoot in the mid-2000s. So nice little touch there. This is the only muscle machines I'm pretty sure that has sidewall printing. It's a detail that probably would have been nice to see, and it's really interesting now knowing that we have like the BKT printing on the Spin Master trucks, and then you have all the crazy detailing that's on the Hot Wheels trucks now. This is a nice and early touch to see on the tires.
I'm back. Hello.
Hi, it's you again.
The one that doesn't talk. Yeah, that's me.
That's okay.
I like the Firestone touch. You're right. For early age stuff like this, it's crazy to see that they were doing this in 2003 for muscle machines, and then we got into the BKT contract with Hot Wheels or with the helm at the helm, and then there's only one instance where they actually use the BKT printing in Hot Wheels. So you're looking at 4 compared to 2015 through 18. And 2004 has them beat, so it's pretty funny to see that now. And you're right, the Spin Master BKTs bring a lot of life into the scale models, and I really love that they took that liberty with the legacy trucks and other things and used the BKT printing to their advantage because they have the abilities to. But 2004, looking at this and seeing that detail there, that far back is very very cool to see. And I also enjoy, again, like I mentioned last episode, all the details of the muscle machines that we're seeing, again, rebounding into modern day Spin Master stuff, which is the painted shocks and the other details that muscle machines and Greenlight use already, but we're seeing now in the standard mainline. So there's some opinions from me on that truck in general.
Solid.
Go ahead, continue on.
Yep, that's the way it was. So now the next one in the lineup here, we get Raminators. Now this is a very a curious choice. This Raminator is all purple. Now I think I've caught on social media very recently that from the Hall Brothers team that this was obviously supposed to be red and they all came out purple, but which I guess can make sense because you look at the card, it is the red Raminator. But
how do you mess up that bad?
Yeah, I don't know. And it's such a weird one. Well, knowing in 2003 we see the Raminator appear in its red form, and knowing that there was never really a re-release in Muscle Machines, I just feel like that maybe Muscle Machines just kind of like, let's do a purple one. Although everything's red on the card here, but everything's purple here, and it's not like I don't know. And they just got away with it. So if you want a purple Raminator, there's it's a
very unique thing. Yeah, that's odd. It's almost like if Hot Wheels made a mass production of Bigfoot in purple without context, it's kind of like that. So that's really odd. And how they mess up that bad with the color and not catch it, it has to go through FEP stage and prototyping and all that stuff. So for it to get to production grade in mass scale like this is very, very odd and very suspicious of how it made it that far. So yeah, that's an interesting one, especially with the packaging not matching the truck itself. So I never knew that story until now because I really don't know a ton about muscle machines, but I'm very confused as well as everyone else is on how that could get to such a massive scale. RJ, you were trying to say something.
Oh no, I mean I'm speechless on it. I never saw it in stores. It's something.
Yeah, so looking at our 2003 proper Raminator, there are some very small variant kind of changes. The Hemi logo is not present on the 2003 version, and neither is the Hall Brothers Racing logo over on the side here. So I guess if this were to come out red, those little changes would be kind of the variation that we added a couple different logos on there. But and it's super weird because in 2004, spoiler alert, we don't see a Ramunition. So this is the only Hall Brothers truck we get in 2004 in the 164. And you got it in purple. So if you didn't get the red one, I'm sorry, you grew up with a purple one. Yeah, I'm so sorry. I don't know what to tell you. The truck has never been purple. I don't think it's going purple anytime soon. So take it as a fun souvenir, and maybe get Mark Hall to autograph it one day.
The original concept from Gravedigger the Legend, purple, maybe.
Maybe
foreshadow, maybe.
Well, from one Ram truck to another one. Here's our first appearance of Rampage. This one is super cool. So Rampage is another one of those trucks. If you caught our 2003 episode, Paul Schaefer during this time period was buying all sorts of trucks and names and continuing to campaign them. Monster Patrol, Barefoot, Wild Thing, and so many others. And Rampage was one of them. Maybe not at the same level as like the Carolina Crushers and stuff, but it was under the same banner. And this is such a simple scheme. You can't really screw this up. It's just a black body with the name Rampage on the side, and it's an easy layup knowing that you have the Ram tools, the Dodge Ram tools doing the Hall Brother trucks. That hey, why don't we get? And we have the rights to do the Paul Schaefer trucks. Of course, you get a Rampage.
Absolutely, it's another Carpet Monster Truck League truck. Absolutely have to have. Throw it in the lineup.
Yeah, and it's just a slight bummer if you have to nitpick. Rampage did have a couple different schemes over the years, and obviously a lot more or wilder than this. Like there's a red scheme that has a lot more design, and there's more of like a tealish scheme that looks very like
there's a purple one too.
Yeah, so like there's a lot of different Rampage schemes. So maybe not the most visually appealing, but when I think of Rampage, this is the scheme I would think of at least. And they got the toy of it. So this is definitely one you need. And if you're going to nitpick over the schemes, so be it. But this is accurate to what a Rampage did look like, and it is nice to see.
Maybe the purple Raminator was supposed to be Rampage. Never know.
Oh, man. So that is, let's see here. Okay, so that is the Rampage. That is number 5 of 2004. Speaking of Carolina Crusher, another one of those Paul Schaefer specials. Here is number 6 for 2004. It is Carolina Crusher again. We do see Carolina Crusher in 2003. That one was a lot more red. This is an orange version. I'm sure there's also some logo changes on here. We've been seeing a lot of those. A lot of the sponsor logos have changed around a bit, but here is an orange version of Carolina Crusher. Carolina Crushers had so many different looks over the years and so many different folks running the trucks, so many different capacities. So I don't know if I would identify Carolina Crusher as orange and yellow, but I also wouldn't be mad if this is what I got.
Well, I mean, you look at the other problems we've had. We've got a purple Bigfoot. We got a purple Raminator, right? Did I say that right?
Yeah, you got it.
And now you got an orange Carolina Crusher that doesn't make sense. Or I like orange, so it worked for me. I liked it. Phil, can you guess the truck on the back of the card? I should say.
I screwed it up last time. I think I said it was Mike Harper's, and it was definitely not Mike Harper's. That's Tim Tesmer's Carolina Crusher, right? Or now is it Mike Harper's?
Well, see, that's what I originally thought was like the second release had Harper's truck on the back, but no, because well, maybe.
No, that's the same truck as Tesmer, so I'm gonna still say to Tesmer for 500.
Okay, same as him for 6.
Fair enough. So yeah, here's your orange Carolina Crusher. It's nice. It's nice. Actually, a nice little touch here. It still says Porter's 4x4 center on the back here. Gary Porter was not involved with Carolina Crusher at this time. He's a full-blown gravedigger driver at this point, selling the operation to Paul Schaefer. So, nice touch. And again, maybe orange isn't the most accurate color, but it's also not the most offensive color. They could have made it purple and yellow and really just confuse everybody. What's going on?
There you go. Exactly.
So there's Carolina Crusher number 6. So now here we come jumping into some of our lovely fantasy designs. Here is the Jaws Bigfoot. So this is maybe one of the most basic schemes you got here. It is like a white grayish body that just says Jaws, and that is it. The Jaws franchise. I mean, I'm sure you're familiar with the movie. I don't think there's a new movie at this time. So Jaws is kind of an interesting license that they went after here. It's all under the Universal banner. So again, kind of how we got the Universal monsters in 2003. In 2004, we shift the license away from the monsters and like the Scorpion King and move to some other properties. So Jaws is one that got a lot of love. I know that the model kit that they did, I don't think Muscle Machines did it. I think Revell made a model kit of the Jaws Bigfoot. I know that was a big deal. And this is one I know a lot of people ask, like, was the Jaws Bigfoot real? And the answer is no, but Bigfoot fans still picked this up because they did make a lot of different versions of the Jaws Bigfoot in so many different capacities.
Yeah, it was a solid pickup. I mean, the white's got a little. Did it have a little pearlescence in it, or was it?
Gonna say it looks pearlescent to me.
Back in the day. Go ahead, Ryan.
No, I was just saying it does look pearlescent to me. That's the first thing I saw when I saw the pink color. It looked pearlescent. Looks like an actual pearl. Yeah. In this case here.
I remember that popping on the toy owl when I was little. That one popped out. It was like, oh, Jaws Bigfoot. Okay, all right.
I got to say, out of all the fantasy Bigfoots we're going to see in this next kind of segment, this is my favorite one. I love the simplicity, but I also love the Jaws franchise, especially the first classic movie. It is a classic. Most people know Jaws. They especially know the theme song to it if they don't even know the movie itself. So I think at the time, I'm sure the movie was obviously not made in 2004, but it was more recent now than in 2020. So the popularity was, obviously it's still popular, but the popularity then was very high. So using that as a franchise that they had to be able to produce was a great fit for the line. If they had to do any fantasy pop culture stuff, this is a good case of using the correct movies to do so. Jaws is a very popular, popular movie that probably will never be forgotten by anyone. So I think that producing it even in 2004, if you produced one now in 2020, it would still sell just as well because Jaws, alongside the name Bigfoot, both hand in hand are classics that will never go away, never really be forgotten. They only age, they age well, and I think that this is a great combination of both of those things. So I also love the great white pearlescent paint that they gave it, a very unique color, but also that pearlescent, like RJ has that memory of seeing in the toy aisle. Obviously, I don't. I'm sure it was shiny as all can be. So I love this truck. It's a really cool, simple truck. The only thing I would have done was put Bigfoot on the fender to make it a little more defined. Obviously, the roof has it, but
they put it on the roof They put it on the roof compared to Wolfman. So I mean, at least they have some sort of recognition to Bigfoot on the truck.
Yeah, and I think that this is again a very very simple but effective model. We see that a lot here, where they make simple ones, but they're also very effective compared to the super wild graphics that you do see in this line, and especially the pop culture ones. So I also love that bed cover. That's a really, really cool bed cover with the movies, the cover of the movie on the bed cover, kind of a double thing there. So, super cool model. And I might start searching for one of these because I think it's just, out of all the Muscle Machines, it's one of the ones I really want to have just for display. So that's the Jaws one on my opinions, and I really do like that one. So
I was also just told this is a new Ford mold.
Oh, is it? Oh, I have a baby in the house.
Yeah. The bumper is down more, or there's a new bumper.
I can tell the grill's different. I don't know if this isn't just an 04 edition of the F-150 or whatnot. So it is a different tooling here.
I think it is. Now looking at it, I think that is the 2004 version of it. I mean, if you have the licensing to Ford, you might as well. I mean,
yeah. So
do it.
That's the Jaws here. So now we continue on to in our fantasy land here. We have another Bigfoot version. This is the Psycho version. The Psycho franchise, Bates Motel. I'm not into this franchise, so I don't know too much about it other than
I never found one, so.
So this is really kind of the same basic layout as we saw with Jaws. It's a blue truck, kind of a darker blue. You really don't see. One thing about the muscle machines, we talk about the colors, but you don't see kind of the same tones a lot. Like it's blue, but it's a different blue than the other blue. And so it's like they never really use the same kind of blue, if that makes sense. You get another one here with the Psycho Bigfoot. Again, it's another one that's just you have the license from it. Bigfoot again's on the roof, and they just put together some decals, and they call it a monster truck. So nothing too elaborate. It's pretty straightforward, just like the Jaws, but another different one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's kind of although Jaws was simple, I think this one, the colors blend too much with the pictures they're using or the decals they're using. They blend too well into the paint color, so you don't really get to see much of what's going on here. Even the word psycho with the bright red and the glow around it really washes it out. So I think the only thing my mind or my eye instantly sees is that motel, and it just looks like it's Motel Monster Truck. So I think this one's not as effective as Jaws. Also not as well, I don't want to say it. Maybe there are people who prefer this movie over the others, but I would say probably not as popular as Jaws either. So less effective really in the whole execution of this specific franchise they chose. So that's that opinion on that one. But Psycho is a very well-known movie, but I don't think it was popular enough for a monster truck release, especially not one that was done this way. Anyway, Phil, next one up. I think it's another one of these, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep, we're continuing down Fantasy Island here. Yep. Bear with us. Van Helsing gets a whole bunch of trucks this year. Van Helsing is like the Universal Monsters of 2004, and this is a Carolina Crusher edition. It is a royal blue for Van Helsing. The same cookie cutter kind of deal you had with the Bigfoots prior, except this one's Carolina Crusher love, so it's on the Chevy body. Again, another one that when you have the license for it, you kind of put it all together. You get trucks here, and Van Helsing was like the prodigal son in 2004. We get a bunch of Van Helsings, and if you're a big Van Helsing fan, I'm sure this was like Christmas morning every single time you saw a Van Helsing truck here. So right on there. It's a good point. There was a Van Helsing movie that came out in 2004 studio, and which could be a good, very, very acceptable reason why we're getting so many Van Helsing trucks in 2004 opposed to a Jaws or the Psychos and stuff that we get a lot of Van Helsing.
Yeah. This one, I don't think has any Carolina Crusher markings on it. Could be wrong. I'm looking at it.
Not, which is kind of a bummer. You would think, at this point, you would catch it on the roof. Right. You would see with all kind of the other previous movie ones, but this one doesn't. The only marking that it's under the Carolina Crusher banner is if you have it in package. But not much to say. I've never seen Van Helsing. I don't even know anything about it.
Yeah, me either.
So selfishly, I can't really give too much insight here on maybe the pop culture aspect on it, but I just know that Van Helsing gets a lot of love in 2004. As we will move on to the next one,
which is very strange considering the fact that most of our viewers have not seen it. I have not seen it. You guys haven't seen it, so they got a lot of releases here for a thing that not many that are watching this, or the demographic that this is clearly reaching out to, have seen. So anyway, that's just odd.
Yeah,
I don't know what this is.
Like, if we can look up the box office that Van Helsing did in 2004. if this was something part of their movie promotion and it bombed. Okay, just going according to Google here, there was it made money, so I don't know.
Right.
But as we continue on here, we're looking at the Bigfoot version of Van Helsing. This is kind of almost like a forest green color here for the Van Helsing Bigfoot. Pretty much the same decals we see on the Carolina Crusher version, except we do get the Bigfoot logo on the roof. So Bigfoot does get some love here, opposed to the Carolina Crusher. So this is kind of different again. Talking about how the muscle machines, you don't get the same shades of color. This kind of forest green or army green color on the truck is a nice touch. It's almost borderline black, but it's a green color.
Yeah.
It's something different. Like it's not like your bright greens or your Gravedigger greens and stuff. So I mean, I'm just trying to find things to thumbs up here because I'm not no Van Helsing fan. And
no, I wasn't either. And I mean, you got to remember the packaging said 8 and up. I mean, yeah, it's a monster truck. It's next to the Hot Wheels, but maybe this was a push for the adult collectible side of things. Who knows? I don't, but that could be a reason. They want to push the adult collectibles, so they throw movies like this in there, and even the Bates Motel. So, I mean, it could be that.
Hey, if I have to tip my hat, is that they're trying something different now. Brace yourselves when we talk about the 2005 line in 2 weeks.
Ooh.
That's going to be a tough one, okay? Like, I'm just going to let everybody know now. 2005 Muscle Machines, it's a tough one. So we're complaining about Van Helsing, like we don't know where to go. Wait till we get to 2005 because that entire episode is just going to be us looking at a bunch of nothing and making something and talking a lot of theories. So appreciate Van Helsing here as we continue on with the Van Helsing shenanigans.
Does those trucks have the same bed? Kind of zoom in on those on my cell phone. I'm not sure if all those trucks may have the same bed cover deco.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, they might. Now this is a different layout for the Van Helsings with the barefoot. We will see a bunch more barefoots here, and they almost all kind of have the same layout here. This one's that baby blue or teal kind of color. It's an eye-catching one. We saw a Monsters truck in 2003 with let me look that up real quick. It was one of the Jurassic Park Bigfoot Spine Crusher had this same kind of scheme. So if you guys remember that, I am a fan of the eye-catching trucks. So and actually that has a matching bed cover. One of the things I did notice in 2004, a lot of the bed covers were just kind of standard black. So this one gets a teal one that matches the truck. Again, not a Van Helsing fan, but I do like the bright color here, and this one does stand out a lot more, maybe against the army green Bigfoot.
Oh yeah, this one stood out on the aisle, no doubt, and this bed cover is very nice. It's probably a bad idea to say all the bed covers are the same, and then we click on this one as baby blue, but I was referring to the Carolina Crusher and the Bigfoot.
There's no barefoot logo on the roof here, so only the Bigfoot seems to have got logos.
So they fixed what they did wrong the year previous, and then did other wrongs. But hey, it's all we got the Bigfoot name on there. That's yeah.
Yeah, and we're not done with Van Helsing, so we will be back there in a brief moment. We're going to shift just a little bit to some other different trucks. We have the Animal House Monster Patrols. Now, this one is one of my favorites from the year because the card is bright yellow. All the Muscle Machine cards are very detailed, and they're all kind of like this dark card. And here's Animal House. This is bright yellow. It's in your face. And you have the Monster Patrol version of the truck. It's on the Monster Patrol body. Animal House deco on it. It is an all-blue truck. Animal House, a funny movie, and definitely one that doesn't cater to kids, I would say. So this one is definitely when they say Muscle Machines are more for the adult collector. this is a great example with the Animal House Monster Patrol.
So was Monster Patrol a Chevy at this time, or should this have been a Dodge?
Oh man, it depends who you ask. I don't know if Schaefer's Monster Patrol was a Chevy, but holy moly, you got yourselves a Chevy Monster Patrol.
Yeah. Again, just going back to the adult collectible side, it was a good one. I mean, I got it, and I didn't even watch the movie. I was just kind of like, Monster Truck, it's new. Mom, yeah, throw it in. Okay, all right, cool.
Yeah, no, this one's cool. This is the only Animal House one that we see in the 164. It's not like the Monsters or Van Helsing where we get a dozen of them. This is the Animal House truck. This is it, and you got it. So it's another one that counts. I would imagine if you're somebody that was like not looking to buy some of the fantasy trucks, maybe Animal House is one of the few that you do pick up, just because of that card is so different. Everything's just different. Studio. All right, here. So moving on, lucky number 13. There's two 13s here. I do have a story, I think. So this is Andy Hoffman's Nightmare. This is 2004, number 13. Andy Hoffman, Nightmare, War Wagon, longtime veteran of the sport. Yep. We finally get a nice Nightmare toy here. We really don't see any other Andy Hoffman toys over the years. I think there was maybe one other Nightmare that came out prior to this in a different toy line.
Yeah.
So this is
how many Spin Master maybe? Were they the ones who had that out?
Who's that?
In the early days? The company that made the other Nightmare.
Would I be wrong to say Spin Master?
No, I think you're onto something.
Ryan, did Spin Master make a Nightmare?
I believe so. I believe it was one of those weird ones with like Black Stallion.
Rampage. There was a Rampage in that. I think it was Rampage, Nightmare.
Yes.
And what was the other truck?
Rambo, right?
Rambo. Okay, yeah. So we do see
Rambo.
Nightmare
Yes,
there.
Rambo.
Right.
I believe it was Nightmare though. Yeah, but definitely the other three that we know of. I don't know if it was Nightmare though. I believe it was. But I know this one's. I think is this the Andy Hoffman? I wasn't listening.
Yeah.
This is the Andy Hoffman. Yeah, this is the rare one, right?
So RJ, did you have this truck?
Yeah.
No, I never did.
So
it was one of those tour accurate, hard to find trucks. Like, thanks for making a tour accurate truck for me, but hard to find.
I believe, and the reason why there are two 13s is that this Nightmare truck was exclusive to Andy Hoffman at events and online. I believe monsterstyle.com probably sold these back in the day as well. So that's why there's different numbers here. I don't think you could have found this in stores. If somebody did find Nightmare in a store, please let us know. But I believe that is a story I always heard, that Nightmare was a team exclusive. So that's why it was a harder one to find, because it wasn't in the regular assortment. So yeah, that's Nightmare. Good one to have. It's a bummer if it is an exclusive, that is a bummer it's an exclusive, because I'd imagine everybody would kind of want this over your 12 Van Helsings. So
this one was, like I said, tour accurate for the time. I don't even know if that's a thing in the time, like a tour accurate variation, but it was the closest thing to it at the time. I mean, the rims, but that could change. But for the most part, that the Nightmare that was running in that time, there it is.
There you have it. So we continue on with the Van Helsing hoopla. Because like the next whole bunch of trucks we're going to show you is Van Helsing's. So here we have another number 13, 2004. It is a barefoot edition of Van Helsing. This one is different than the teal one that we saw before. It does have different deco on it. So tip your hat to that. It is a different paint scheme, at least. And I did see is the barefoot logo on the roof. So hats off there. It's all white.
New bed cover, or
a new bed cover. It kind of blends in though. Yeah, it almost blends in. I don't know if there's anything else underneath it there. It looks like it's just the name Van Helsing. So a little hard to read. Obviously, it doesn't pop like some of the other ones, but I think the white scheme makes up for it.
The barefoot on the roof really does pop on the truck, clearly all white. Yeah, solid truck.
Yeah, it's a whole bunch of random spoople here with the Van Helsing. So as we move to number 14, it is another barefoot Van Helsing. It has yet another different design. Kind of the same royalish blue that we see in a few other muscle machines. So scrolling on through here, we'll take a look at that bed cover. It still has that hard to read bed cover that we saw in the previous version, number 13. Yeah, that's Van Helsing again. Any comments on this, RJ?
Yeah, I mean, you got the name on the roof, changed colors. The bed cover is the same as the white one. You just changed colors, but yeah, I mean that's about it. It's same as the white one, just different colors.
What the heck? Okay, so moving on. It is another Van Helsing. So this one, actually, if I got to pick a Van Helsing favorite, it's this one. Number 15, a Carolina Crusher version. Yeah. I just like this obnoxious, red color. I don't even know what shade of red this is. It's borderline magenta. Yet another different deco on this one. Carolina Crusher is on the roof, although the logo is looking kind of stretched, so kind of goofy. But I do
same bed cover.
Yeah, same bed cover. That same hard to read bed cover. But I like this color. Yeah. It's bright. I'll zoom out to this one. It's different. Again, they don't use a lot of those same colors here, so I like this one. If I have to pick a Van Helsing favorite, this is it right here.
Yeah, that's up there. That's one of the. I mean, if you got to pick a favorite, definitely in the top 4 for sure. If there is 4 good ones. Yeah.
Woo! Moving on to number 16, Carolina Crusher Van Helsing. This one, okay, this one's not bad either. This shade of red kind of reminds me of like a Hall's cough drop.
I was thinking Taurus, but okay, yeah, that works too.
Okay, it's more of a Taurus Hall's cough drop red. Once again, another deco for Van Helsing. I'm sure we'll see. Oh, it says Dracula in the tailgate. Okay, so for someone that does not know the movie franchise, this is revolutionary here that we have Dracula on the bed cover. We do have a different bed cover here. It's the same design as what we have on the truck, so they did change it up on this bed cover, but I'm guessing that Dracula's a character in the movie, or that's him on the side.
Let me pull it up on my phone, try to zoom in on it.
I tell you, I think I know what I'm doing tomorrow. In between putting up my Christmas tree, it's going to be
watching this movie.
So I'm going to do a Van Helsing watch along. There's a lot of Van Helsing here tonight.
This is not episode 20. We'll do that.
Yeah, but we're not sponsored. So
that'll work.
What do we got here? Once again, hey guys, what a surprise!
Hey, can you guess?
What do you got? We got a number 17. Let me tell you something, brother. It's another Van Helsing. It's a Carolina Crusher gray version. Yet again, another different character on the side here. I just don't know what's going on with these trucks at this point. Van Helsing is.
I don't know.
Okay, now it says Frankenstein's monster. So I guess we got the monsters are all involved here again. Is Van Helsing tied with the Universal Monsters? Is that like the offshoot, like the Justice League?
Did the same were they produced by the same company or?
Yeah, they were. It's all Universal, but like.
Oh right, yeah. So then that's enough reason. Why are you trying to make me look stupid? That's enough reason right there, Phil. They're in contract.
I'm trying to figure out what's going on here. I'm learning about the movie as we're reviewing the trucks here. Is this Carolina Crusher again? We got a different bed cover again. We got Frankenstein's on it. I gotta watch this movie.
I know, like, you're persuading me to watch the movie, yourself to watch the movie. Maybe we can persuade OCD to get some of these trucks. He said he might get a Jaws Bigfoot. I was going to mention, hey, see, there you go.
All the Van Helsings at this point. I see Hugh Jackman's in the movie. That's Jackman.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna sit down and watch this movie just because it's podcast, because there's so many of these trucks.
If you're a Van Helsing fan, we're disappointing you tonight. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I mean, yeah, I didn't go out and watch movies then. I was a little kid. I'm just buying it because it's a monster truck. I have it on the Carpet League, you know.
Oh, Van Helsing's the guy that hunts monsters studio. Who he's like Dracula. Like, he hunts. Oh, okay, yeah. So he hunts all the monsters.
Okay.
Thank you to Cheech for the help with that.
Okay, so then they were making the monsters.
Okay,
in trucks.
Now I feel a little more comfortable. Okay, so because we get all those monsters in 2003, you have them on your Carpet League, and now you got to buy all the Van Helsings to chase them out.
True. He's there you go. Marketing 101 right there. Perfect.
Except that I don't know Van Helsing was necessarily a kid's movie. So, but I'm getting it. Right. I am convincing myself why I need 12 Van Helsings.
We'll keep trying to convince me, but I mean, hey, at least Carolina Crusher and Barefoot's on the package. I mean, hey.
Ooh, yeah. Barefoot. It's number 18, Van Helsing. I think this is the last one for Van Helsing.
I believe so. And there's some good trucks at the end of this year too. So
yeah. So if you're sticking out through the Van Helsing Spoopel Fest here, we're working on
good stuff.
This is a bright yellow Barefoot edition, so this one's kind of cool too. It has Barefoot on the roof, so it's kind of interesting how that first wave of Van Helsing love kind of doesn't have the trucks' names on the roof except for Bigfoot. So I don't know. What say you, RJ? What do you think about this yellow Van Helsing?
It's the same as the white one and what was the other one? There's so many I don't even remember. The blue Barefoot.
Under the rainbow. So
yeah, I mean it's just a different. You walk in the store. What color do you like more? And buy that one. There you go.
So, all right. Any other questions, comments, concerns on Van Helsing? Because I think we're done talking about Van Helsing for the night.
Yeah, we're done. We got the good stuff to end it.
All right, so 5 more trucks here in 2004. Again, this was a shorter line, especially when you compare it to 2003. But if you take out the Van Helsing spam, you get a lot of quality trucks. So here's another one. It is the appropriately named Muscle Machines truck. Now Muscle Machines was a real truck ran by Team KCM underneath the Team KCM banner. That was a team owned by Craig Christensen. So Paul Jensen was the main driver of this truck, and if you caught us at the beginning of the show here, talk about the return of Jurassic Attack, Paul Jensen ties right into that because he'll be part of the unveiling of the scheme for that this Friday night over on the Outlaws podcast. So cool to see Paul gets a lot of love here. Paul's a longtime veteran. I don't think a lot of people knew that because they know Paul from a lot of his current work with Kamikaze.
Right.
They don't realize that Paul's been driving for a very long time. And so Muscle Machines is one of the many identities he drove here. And here's the appropriately named Muscle Machines truck. Now, I must have a discrepancy here. This does not look like anything close to the Hummer body.
Yeah, I was like, wait, what? I saw the front and was like, huh?
So I believe the issue here, this was not licensed by Hummer.
Right. Which, I mean,
if you know on the package here, there's no Hummer or GM logos on here. So that could be the issue here, why this is such a goofy version of a Hummer body.
Yeah. I mean, the front's mainly the eyesore. Everything else, the side, the backs, the sides is okay. If you're an in-card collector, this probably didn't affect you too much. You just hang it on the wall or put it in a box and you're good.
Ryan, what do you have to say about our Muscle Machines truck?
Yeah, this is one of the ones I do have from the Muscle Machines line. I collect very specific things, and this one, since it is, I think, the only Muscle Machines branded truck, I did get from a collection of loose trucks, and I kept that one. I sold off the other ones, but I do like this. I like the Hummer body. I love the blue metallic paint. I like the simplicity that they chose with it. That's basically my opinion on it, but I do have that one, so it's one of the
And we
few.
will look at the main Patriarch truck here right now, December 20. It's Dragon Slayer. So now this one's totally an interesting one, because if you recall in our past episodes and knowing the timeline, in 2003 we get a Dragon Slayer Hot Wheels, and so Craig signs
That's
up.
more accurate too.
Yeah, that's way more accurate than this bloated beluga of a Hummer. Which is so curious, because you'd have to imagine Craig Christensen sits down and he signs a contract with Hot Wheels to make the Hot Wheels truck in 2003. The next year, he jumps ships to Muscle Machines, and this is what we get. So very interesting choice there. I don't know how that would have happened. This is cool to see, but again, the year before, you get a much better Dragon Slayer. You get your definitive Dragon Slayer. So I almost don't see the need why you would need this.
Yeah, I mean, I never got one of the Muscle Machines. I of course had many of the Hot Wheels versions. So it was one of those, if you got the Hot Wheels, do you need it? Not really if it looks like that. But, if you were a Dragon Slayer fan or a Muscle Machines fan or, a completist of a collection, you grab that for sure.
OCD, do you have anything to say about Goofy Dragon Slayer?
No, not really. It does not look as good as the Hot Wheels release a year prior to this. Was it a year prior? Yeah, a year prior to this. So, no, not much to say. It looks really weird. The Muscle Machines one looks better as a truck in the Hummer form than this one does. So that's the opinion on Dragon Slayer.
We appreciate you being here tonight. So
I'm just hanging out.
Hey, moving on. Studio. All right, so we're moving on board here. We get another Obsession in 2004. So now this one is okay. So this is technically not Obsession, and I'll explain here in a bit. As we look at it, this is pretty much the same design layout as what we see in 2003. Some different decal choices, but any diehard fan, I guess it sold for $2.99 back in the day. That was a great deal for a toy monster truck. Could you imagine?
I was about to say, I don't even think my local Walmart back in the day, they were that cheap. I think they were like $3-something, but I mean, they might have been.
So I don't know if Brian Patton got this Obsession, but Banana, we have to talk about here. Anyone that's on the West Coast monster truck scene, you probably recognize this design. This is Frank Scattini's Big Dummy truck inspired scheme. I think this is pretty much Frank's design, and they just slapped Obsession on it because Obsession was already in the system. And a nice little callback. Frank has if you ever seen Frank's Big Dummy truck, it's such a uniquely built truck. Frank built the truck to where he stands up in the truck and he operates the truck like a dirt bike. The hand controls are all dirt bike handles, and he's physically standing up in the truck while he's driving. So it is a completely different aspect here. If anyone doesn't know Big Dummy or is not familiar with Frank, it was such a unique truck for its time, and he's such a creative mind. And this is really the toy line tribute to him.
Yeah, watching Monsters of Destruction back in the day on the Outdoor Channel, watching him jump the end cab, I was like, what? How can you stand? Like, it's a great it's a cool concept. But it's a great concept. It's cool. Like, that'd be cool way to drive a monster truck. I mean, I wouldn't do that, but it was very interesting for its time. Wild, very cool that the paint scheme got out, even if the name on the cards, what it is. But it is, I picked it up. I think I still have that body somewhere. The rest of the truck's destroyed, but I have the body somewhere because it's metal. It lasted.
Ryan, chasing some clout over there. You have any comments?
Am I? I'm just looking at my Instagram. What's going on?
Oh, we're just talking about this here obsession.
Cool.
That's definitely not obsession.
Yeah. Cool. I'm was I involved in that discussion?
Yeah, I'm bringing you in.
Oh, okay. What do you want my opinion on?
Obsession?
Yeah, it looks interesting. I don't think this is a real scheme, was it?
No.
Yeah, that's my opinion.
Woo!
Okay, leave me alone for a moment. I'm joking. You guys need to.
Moving forward here.
I'm here, but I'm only being used sparingly because my opinions, I really don't have.
Your opinions matter. Don't worry, buddy. So, hey, here we got a very cool one here. This is really nice to see. This is our last Bigfoot we see from Muscle Machines. This is a cool one. It's the UK Bigfoot. So Bigfoot 17. Yeah, Bigfoot 17 was a truck specifically built to campaign over in Europe. Nigel Morris was the man behind the European Bigfoot. And European Bigfoot ran for, 13, 14 years, I would say, and before Nigel sold the truck. So this is super cool. I mean, you don't get too much attention from the UK Bigfoot. So this is such a fun one to have because it's a licensed truck from Bigfoot, but it looks a little different. This is a brand new tooling for this truck, I'm pretty sure. We just add the headdress to the top, the piece to the roof. So they went all out here with Bigfoot 17 to make it look good for this shindig.
Yeah, that was the last truck I got from this company because the next year's line my local Walmart didn't get or something happened. So this was the last Bigfoot, last anything that I got from this company. Very nice truck. Very cool to see the overseas Bigfoot get some love. And it was. I mean, again, tour accurate for its time. Rim color, but everything else is solid. Sponsors, bed cover, everything's there that you would want. And like I said, it was the last one I got.
So, and one thing I would like to mention too, the UK Bigfoot styling and profiling here with the unique look. This wasn't exclusive to the UK or anything. This was found everywhere. And I like to mention that because years down the line, there will be a company called Smart Bean that will start making some trucks. I'd love to talk about that one day, if we can get an album of those trucks together. And I mention that because they made 2 versions of the UK Bigfoot in that toy line, and those were only sold in the UK. And I do think that the team in the US sold a couple of them in the shop in the US, but that was UK exclusive. And that's why I mentioned that. It was really kind of just a very big deal. I mean, like a UK exclusive toy. You don't see too many of those. Like I know many moons back with, I believe it was Matchbox. There was that Wagon Wheels truck that came with the biscuit cookies. That was like a mail away truck that was only in the UK. So that's like, I remember that was like one of the rarest trucks you can get out there because it was like only in the UK. So that's why I mentioned that. Like, you don't have to like go beat up your neighbor in Yorkshire to find this, but
yeah, it was the last muscle machine I ever got. So I mean, end with Bigfoot. Why not? I don't know why I didn't get the next year line, but might as well end with the king.
Darn right. So a last one for 2004, and I do have to mention. The UK Bigfoot was number 22, and now our last truck here is going to be Monster Patrol Studio. For some reason, we go to number 24. So we are missing a number 23 in Muscle Machine Land. So I'd have to imagine that there's some truck out there that we never got to see. I will briefly mention that with the license here. Actually, I'll mention it now. With the license that they had with Milestone Motorsports, and if you want to learn details on that, go back to our 2003 episode, and I do mention how the Muscle Machines got the contracts for these trucks. There was a couple other trucks that just they were not able to get out. I know that Virginia Giant had a license through Milestone Motorsports, as well as Maniac, so that could have opened the door to a Jurassic Attack. Equalizer also was signed up with Milestone Motorsports, and Rob French's team, which at the time was running the Incinerator truck, also signed up. And also some other Paul Schaefer trucks like Boogie Van never got toys. So there's a lot of different options, maybe what ifs. And I know during this time period we do get a Virginia Giant Hot Wheels. We get the Equalizer Hot Wheels this same year in 2004. So and a Maniac is already out there in toy line too. So who knows? Maybe if Muscle Machines was trying to sneak in a Virginia Giant, but what they did get in was another Monster Patrol to close out 2004. I know these Monster Patrols are very sought after. These are the best Monster Patrol toys out there. This one is has some different logos and different designs on it from the 2003 version. It's still that classic scheme of Monster Patrol, black and green, but just a couple different logo variants. It's still accurate. And I know a lot of times if you get them loose, the Monster Patrols tend to be the ones that a lot of people get confused kind of which year goes to which. This year's version has PAY on top of the wing right there. And also on the side, we do get a couple sponsors. We have CRE with their various products like Brake Lean. And then you got White Ball Wipes on here. I can't make that with the other ones. But this is actually accurate to the Monster Patrol that is on the card. You can kind of see. So nice little tidbit there. It's again, Monster Patrol is really a star of a show if it's in any toy line. So nice to see.
RJ, your mic. It's not.
RJ, I can't hear you. Uh-oh. Studio.
Phil,
well, slobber knocker. RJ, are you back?
No.
RJ. Oh no.
There we go. Wait, is that him?
No.
Let him rejoin. I was going to ask Phil, do we have any photos this episode? Our special.
No extracurricular pictures here. Okay. So RJ, how about you? Yeah, rejoin. We'll come back in here and we'll wrap up 04 here for Muscle Machine. So yeah, it's a shorter toy line than 2003. But if you get through the Van Helsing barrage, I think this is the more quality year compared to 2003 based on accuracy. Even though like you get some of the weird ones like the purple Raminator and you get like the big dummy inspired Obsession. Even then, it's like, yeah, why would I need a purple Raminator? But you're going to buy it anyways. Are you going to buy a purple Raminator or buy one of the 12 Van Helsings that came out? I think you're going to choose Raminator.
I agree.
What do you think?
I agree.
Good.
He agrees. So I wanted to apologize to our viewers. I saw a couple people asking if I'm over it. I have some stuff going on my phone that just stuff I'm dealing with as I'm watching this podcast and listening. So I'm not over it. I'm happy that these guys got to have their platform here tonight. It was wonderful listening to the discussion and knowing that we have professionals in this Muscle Machines area, which I do not have any knowledge in. So that's why I'm not speaking much tonight.
Yeah, except for Van Helsing. We have no knowledge on Van Helsing.
Yeah, I'm not mad at them. I'm not mad at anyone. I'm just dealing with some stuff. So I wanted to thank them before they sign out and finish this podcast up. I want to thank these two guys for doing this tonight and hosting this podcast.
We're pseudo experts, and I'm sure RJ would love to come back on with us too.
Yes, he'll definitely be back on.
The headache of 05 to close out Muscle Machines, but that'll be in 2 weeks. If anybody has any questions on the 2004 Muscle Machines line or anything about Muscle Machines, please leave them in the comments now. We'll try to get to as much as we can. But we will conclude with Muscle Machines in 2 weeks. So our next episode next week, we'll be talking about the 2005 Hot Wheels Monster Jam line. That line, it's a good one, but it's almost like they took a page out of the Muscle Machines book, and there's a lot to cipher through on 2005 land. So that's next week's episode. We'll try to break that down and really kind of debunk some certain things in there. And then the week after that, we'll come back and we'll wrap up Muscle Machine land. Again, I warned you, 2005 and Muscle Machines, it's not pretty. So we'll try to move as quick as we can on that episode, and then also while we're there, we'll talk about some of the NASCAR muscle machine trucks.
Oh, yep.
We'll talk about some of the prototypes and things that were supposed to come out, and we'll also briefly look at some of the 124s that we have, and probably highlight a couple of the 172s. So 172 scale was a really big deal for muscle machines, and there's a couple different things in there, kind of like with the Rev Treads and Hot Wheels. The 172 line had that the 164 didn't get. So we'll briefly talk about those in the next Muscle Machines episode as well. But stay tuned next week. We're going back to Hot Wheels. We're going to dissect 2005. Yes, you got a comment here. The Jurassic Attack escapade. Yeah, we mentioned at the beginning of the show, Jurassic Attack is coming back. I keep plugging the heck out of it because it's really cool, exciting. Other podcasts I'm part of, Monster Truck Outlaws of the West. We go live every Fridays on Facebook. This Friday, we'll be having David Olfert, who will be driving the new Jurassic Attack, as well as Paul Jensen. They'll be joining us on the podcast this Friday, where we will be unveiling the brand new Jurassic Attack paint scheme. It will be the world premiere. We'll also have a very special guest with us on that episode, and we'll be talking about kind of what went into bringing Jurassic Attack back to the circuit. What are the chances, higher chance to get a Jurassic ornament? Well, I would tell you, stay tuned. There was an old saying back in the day, the fat lady start singing, the time to wrap
she ain't
it up.
sung it. I also haven't looked through my Christmas ornament box of my monster truck ornaments, but I'm sure you would have known I have a Jurassic Attack by now.
Fat lady ain't singing, but she's warming up. I'll just leave it at that. She's warming up. So
let's find that fish food.
Yeah, let's start bringing the fish food out there.
Fish food.
See any other comments here? Muscle Machines. The Muscle Machine lines was very interesting. Needs more Van Helsing, man. I tell you, I hope you're joking. Unless you're a diehard Van Helsing, then hats off to you, man. I'm sure you really had a lot of fun in 2004. Why did they do Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde? Well, I tell you, knowing nothing about Van Helsing, I would assume that Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde's in the movie. That's a bummer. Maybe they should have done that because, as we noticed, you got Dracula and Frankenstein was on the tailgate of some of these. Some of those Van Helsings were starting to repeat on each other. So I feel like if they had the opportunity to maybe branch out with the Van Helsings just a little bit, maybe they should have done that. I don't know, but that's.
I mean, for sure, just another idea or more options they could have used. That they instead chose to have 4 different colors of Carolina Crusher and 5 of Barefoot or whatever they chose. But definitely, I'm gonna watch the movie because of this podcast, so I'll get with the character lingo once I want it.
Yeah, I mean, we'll definitely give a better update on life here. I mean, I feel a little bad. Let's see. There's another comment here. Hey, Phil, when are we doing the Johnny Lightning trucks? Well, eventually, I don't know if it's going to be in our timeline here. So we're trying to kind of build a timeline from start to date. So I feel like once we kind of get to the point where we're pretty much done talking about Hot Wheels and like Spin Master and stuff, then we'll start going to some of the interesting ones. Johnny Lightning's an interesting one. I think we can do a pretty good episode on that. There's just not a lot of trucks there. You may be talking about a dozen trucks. So I feel like we will talk about Johnny Lightning on here. It's probably not going to be anytime soon, but never knew they had trucks. Yeah, they had a couple different ones. They had some real ones, and they also had some interesting licenses. So I don't think we're going to get to it soon, but we will get to it eventually. It'll be an interesting one. Matchbox trucks, we'll definitely get to that too. I mean, full disclosure, none of us were alive when the Matchbox trucks came out. So, like the Monster Wars ones, not the weird ones like the garbage truck and the loader that have come out recently. Those Monster War ones. Well, we weren't alive when those came out, so we will probably need a pinch hitter on those to fill in the blanks a little bit. I know good about enough about them, but definitely have a little assistance when we do talk about the Monster Wars Matchbox.
Yeah. Okay. Well, is there anything else going on in this podcast, or are we going to sign it off?
No, just got to give a shout out to Paul Heyman's Basement there for always supporting us and as always supporting everybody here that's been tuning into watching this year. I know Muscle Machines maybe isn't the glitz and glamour as some of the Hot Wheels trucks, but it's important to know the alternatives, and it's always good to see toys, even if they're maybe not the best or they're better than some. It's always great to have a discussion, and I do have to say thank you to RJ for jumping on board here, for dropping his input. RJ is a hard worker. He knows what he's talking about, and I'm sure we'll be talking with him in a couple weeks here when we go back to Muscle Machines. So thank you, RJ.
Thank you, RJ. His mic's not working again.
It's a good time for his mic to end here because we are going to put a bow on this episode.
Okay, he'll be back. I also want to thank again the viewers who watched in and tuned in tonight to listen to this discussion of Muscle Machines. Some viewers don't understand why we cut out of the Hot Wheels. It's not a Hot Wheels podcast. It's actually all of the Monster Truck Diecast podcast. So we are jumping in and out of things to keep things not stagnant. So again, there's some things that I don't have tons of knowledge in. Muscle Machines is a good instance of that. So we bring in special guests like RJ, who we're about to put back on the screen. There he is. And obviously Phil, we can hear him now. Obviously Phil, who has extensive knowledge of the industry and Muscle Machines as well. So there'll be some episodes where I won't talk as much. I'll just kind of be here as the channel host. But mascot, sure, whatever you want to
No, hey, bro, I was just gonna say thanks, guys. It was an honor being on. Looking forward to the next time being on. But the mic cut out, so there you go.
We'll figure out the mic situation by the next time you're on here. Okay, well, with that said, I think we're good to go. Thank you all for watching again. Have a great night, and thank you for tuning in so late. We did start a little late today, actually far later than usual. So we'll see you guys next week, hopefully for a normal time, a normal schedule, 6 p.m. Pacific Coast time, 9 p.m. East Coast, with Phil again. So thanks for watching, guys, and I hope you have a great night. This is Ryan, Phil, and RJ signing out.